going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we probably already know, the other day they dropped the Squid Game event for Black Ops 6, which I will have my full review on this event coming out tomorrow on the channel. But today's video, I wanted to hyper-prioritize the actual update itself, the patch notes, because to me personally, that was way bigger than any event that they can incorporate into the game. Again, I have some mixed feelings about the event, which I will dive into deeper details. But I think the whole community doesn't give a crap about what's introduced into the game right now. They could add 50 new maps. I don't think anybody would care because the position that Black Ops 6 is currently in is probably one of the worst spots we have ever seen Call of Duty in the history of this franchise. Not even lying to you guys. Even compared to Modern Warfare 2 2022, Black Ops 6 is surprisingly doing worse. So I wanted to deep dive into the actual patch notes that we got in today's update. And let me tell you guys something. It's very underwhelming. But guys, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And also, if you're interested in any of my live streams, I will be live streaming today over on Twitch, actually playing some Marvel Rivals. So if you guys want to, check me out and, see me play that game, by all means, tune to the stream. That will probably go up around 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time, and I have a link to that channel down in the description of this video. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'll be real with you guys. I wasn't really anticipating much out of this update when it comes to Black Ops 6. I'm going to be completely real, and I don't think anybody should have anticipated anything because clearly they're on vacation, right? Whenever we are around the December, time period going into January, the devs are gone. They're on holiday, whether it's, celebrate Christmas, the New Year's, so on and so forth. They're out hanging out with their family. Understandable. I completely get it. And I know coming back into the game, they're going to need more time, right? I would say the next update will probably be a little bit more detailed, but I was expecting them to at least be a tad bit more open with this community. And honestly, it's getting kind of sad now because all of the hard work that Sledgehammer has worked for to, have good communication with us is literally going out the door every single update that drops for this overall game here. But ladies and gentlemen, enough with all that stuff. Let's actually hop into the patch notes. Again, pretty underwhelming, but we all expected this, right? We didn't really expect any massive patch notes while they're, away and they're just coming back on in. We're expecting small things. So as you can see right here, there are more things as well. Just to let you guys know, I'm just not going to showcase them because I only like showcasing the important factors of these updates. But movement increased all mantle speeds, and doors can now be open and closed while sprinting. I didn't even know that was a bug before. But the increased all mantle speeds is a nice touch. I enjoy to see that they're trying to, get that flow going with Black Ops 6 still. And also, they went ahead and tuned all of the streaks here, which is actually pretty good. The RCXD car has reduced the max damage. The launcher addressed a rare issue where the next bullet fired from a weapon, blah blah blah. Doesn't really matter. Care package. Apparently people were getting scalp pulses too frequently, so they had to nerf the care packages. The LDBR is going to make sure it doesn't kill you as frequently, and it also has been reduced in score. The sentry turret has an increase to its fire rate along with its HP, and also a reduced score, so you can get it a little bit faster. The Hellstorm got a reduced score. The Watchdog Helo got a buff, which I did try out in game, and it's actually really solid. It's a lot more fun now. The Strategic Bomber got a reduction in score, which is phenomenal, 1300 to 1100, so you can actually get it a little bit easier. And people will probably more than likely want to pick it because before, you really had to pick and choose between a lot better streaks. Now, it's kind of in the correct category, in my personal opinion. The AGR got a nice little buff, and let me tell you guys something, I versed in AGR earlier, and it was absolutely insane, so I think it's in a pretty decent spot. And the Dreadnought, out of all things, got an increase to HP and a reduction to the amount of score that you need to acquire that streak. Insane. Absolutely nuts. Honestly, I have nothing bad to say about any of these updates to the streaks. I think that the streaks were already solid in this game, like the Chopper Gunner, the Dreadnought, all of them were really saucy. And to see the other streaks are being rearranged and tuned, this is what I like to see when it comes to this category of the game. But ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest. There are a lot of problems going on with Black Ops 6, and personally, I feel like the community was expecting something else to be done here. Now again, like I literally just said, they need more time to cook up a big update. But they don't need time to actually be open and transparent with their community, right? That doesn't take up any time whatsoever. No excuses at all for not being able to be open and transparent with us. And in an update like this, that's fine. Like I said, I think a lot of people who understand how the holiday season goes and works, an actual job knows that around the holiday seasons, people are obviously going to be off. I think we can all understand that, it's going to be a bit slow coming back in. But I'm telling you, my perspective on how developers treat their community has changed drastically ever since Modern Warfare 3 2023 and X Defiant. The way both those teams, Sledgehammer and the X Defiant team, handled communication with their audience has changed the game for me personally. And going into Black Ops 6, I was expecting the same exact thing to transfer over from Modern Warfare 3 over to this title. And sadly, it just isn't. You know, the anti-cheat has already been addressed, I suppose, but that's not really a good look. Season 2, Season 3, like I was saying before, I feel like they should have addressed the community and given us some confirmation that they can indeed throw in a few tweaks here and there beforehand. Again, transparency, openness. We want the developers to acknowledge that they know the issues that we are having right now and that they're working on it. Even if it's a couple of weeks, a month down the road, 2 months down the road, people will be more okay with it if we knew the route that they're taking. Same thing when it comes to the netcode, for example. You remember when they tried to claim it was blood splatters instead of a rough netcode? We still haven't heard anything about that, and apparently in the last update, they resolved it. They reduced the blood splatter without even putting it into the actual public patch notes. So until they actually publicly say it, I'm not going to believe it. I'm just simply not going to believe anything until they actually come forth and tell us what the issue is right now and how they're going to go about handling it. But again, I didn't expect them to come in this update and say, oh yeah, we're massive changes to the netcode and massive changes to this and that. I wasn't expecting it, but I was expecting words, just something for us to understand. Same thing with the servers. We have the worst servers known to mankind right now within Call of Duty. You know, a franchise that pulls in millions of dollars, no excuse for having bad servers. Yet Black Ops 6 has some of the worst we've ever seen. And nothing, just radio silence. We hear all of this stuff about the mantling speeds and the streaks, but nothing about the core game itself. Because again, let's be real here. A lot of people aren't complaining about this stuff. I'll give them props that I think they are good changes, but I don't think I've heard anybody in the community right now, whether it's a positive creator or a negative creator, mention that the streaks needed these adjustments right here, right now. Now, is it something that we are okay with? Yeah, I think everybody's, happy that streaks are going to be a bit more powerful, but is it something that we wanted prioritized over other details? No, it just simply is not. The mass majority of the community is hyper-focused on other topics that are way more important than what's being done here. And like I said before, I genuinely believe that this community would be in a good condition if they told us what is happening. If they were open about what is happening. Even if it took weeks to a month, they could say it could take 3 to 4 months to get something resolved. I don't think anybody in the community would absolutely give a crap. The problem that we're running into right now is that they got caught multiple different times lying to the community about the problems within this game, afterwards not admitting that they lied to us about what's going on in this game, and then continuously moving forward without even being open about anything that is currently going on, hyper-focusing other problems that not a single soul in the world is mentioning. That right there is why the community is up in arms right now. Even the happiest of happiest COD creators are just livid with how Black Ops 6 is being handled. And it's because of that exact situation. Like I said before, they could give us a timeline of 3 months, and I guarantee the community will be perfectly okay with it because the developers are talking to us. We know what's happening. We are not feeling insane because now they are telling us the current issues, and they're giving us a timeline to follow with these issues. And of course, if they can't meet the deadline, then they can't meet the deadline. Tell us what the next deadline is going to be, and we'll be open to handle it. Nobody would be pissed. Now, maybe, the Ragers are probably going to, go to town on something like that. If they keep postponing and postponing and postponing, I guarantee people are going to find, something to say about that in a negative way. But me personally, and I feel like a lot of others out there, would be perfectly okay if they just were open and they talked to us. And we felt like we were a part of the process because we all are passionate and we love the Call of Duty franchise. We want to see it thrive. But when they start building up that ego and boxing us out and giving that mentality that, oh, this game is only out for a year, there's no reason for us to fix any of this nonsense. We'll just say a couple of things here, we'll brush it under the rug, hope the whole community forgets about it, and then the next game will be out. That's the mentality of a lot of these development teams, besides Sledgehammer, because Sledgehammer really stepped up their game with Modern Warfare 3 and changed that for everybody. But now we're right back to it. It's funny because now I'm starting to see a lot of people, like, for example, the Ghost of Hope coming out saying, Treyarch has just as much of an ego as Infinity Ward, in case it wasn't obvious by now. I don't expect much to change with the current game at all when they are basically all working on the next game now. Sad how much potential and goodwill with the community they squandered. How many times have I been saying this, ladies and gentlemen, and how many times have I been getting bashed for doing so? I have been very stuck in the middle with Black Ops 6 because the developers are doing things that are good, decent, not bad changes, but at the same time, proven in the past, Treyarch indeed has an ego. And I said this many times, many times. Treyarch indeed has an ego. They know how to make a pretty solid Call of Duty title. But when it comes to working with the community, that's where they lack. Not like Infinity Ward, where they suck at both. They can't really make a good title, and on top of that, they don't communicate with us whatsoever. They got the ego, and they make rough titles. Treyarch, they make pretty decent titles, but the ego has always been there. And I was worried about that. That's why I'm still in the middle with Black Ops 6 here. And it's probably why I'm going to continue with this mindset throughout the rest of this year, because just like this, they are continuing to prove that they are trying to keep things a secret. They're not trying to be open with the community. And to me personally, that is very sketchy behavior. All it would take is a few sentences, a little bit of your time, probably less than 5 minutes, to go ahead and put something together, acknowledging the fact that, the netcode might be rough and, the anti-cheat. Yes, we understand you all are very mad about this, but we are indeed working on it. We're coming back to the office and we're going to town. Anything would have been better than adding in more things to purchase without actually resolving all the problems that we've been complaining about since basically the launch of the game. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, go down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about all this stuff. Again, it sucks because it wasn't too shabby of an update, but I genuinely don't think they're going to be open about any of this stuff. And I genuinely do believe that the next update, they still won't mention any of this stuff. Only time will tell. But from what I see and how many times this company has been community noted, I'm not expecting any details anytime soon. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And like I said earlier, I'm going to be streaming some Marvel Rivals today over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested or you want to hop into the open lobby, since we host those every time I go live, I got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all next one. Peace out.